Hi, my name is Robert Lapota, and I'm an HR professional that started working at MRA in 1999. In my career of over 30 years, I've held positions from an HR generalist to Vice President of Human Resources for a publicly traded organization. With my job here at MRA, I spend the majority of my time doing compliance training and leadership training. As the primary instructor for human resources programs and HR on-sites, I cover such topics as employment law compliance, including America with Disabilities Act, Family Medical Leave, General Employment Law, harassment, violence in the workplace, and respect in the workplace. In addition, I'm also a cross-functional trainer, and throughout my entire career, I have also been a certified leadership trainer through Achieve Global. So I'm also a cross-functional instructor here at MRA, filling in and also conducting leadership training in our various programs and also for our on-site training. What I'm really passionate about in my training at MRA, it's not just about training you the content. I really want to inflict change and have you think about what these are, including the basics of employment law, for example. How does that impact you as a manager or supervisor? We don't just cover what the law is, how it directly impacts you and what you do back at work is what we want to focus on. That's what I like to focus on as well. My style, I like to keep things light and cheerful and funny and interactive. A couple of years ago I had a participant write on their evaluation form that they appreciated that Rob spoke with us, not at us. So I have a very interesting, engaging style to transfer learning to you and also make the learning a very fun environment. Let's take a look at care of an adult child. So under federal FMLA, an eligible employee can care for an adult child that's over the age of 18 as long as there are several conditions that are met. So looking up here in the PowerPoint, one of those is that that adult child needs to be disabled as defined by the America with Disabilities Act. The second area is that they need to be incapable of self-care. They have a serious health condition as defined by the law, and also that that individual is in need of care. Now to make this real easy for you, we have that form that's available in the MRA Resource Center. So if you grab that care of an adult child and break that out, we can take a look at that. How many of you are using any of your homemade forms? Certification forms, reasonable accommodation forms for the ADA. Is anybody using a homegrown form? Okay, whenever you're using a form that's homegrown and you're soliciting medical information, under the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, GINA, you have to have a disclaimer on that form. So if you look at the top of that care of an adult child form, you notice how I have that GINA disclaimer language that's in that little box. So if you have your own homegrown forms that are asking for medical information, make sure that they have that GINA disclaimer on there. So you probably have to copy that right off of that form. Remember that you have to use the words that the law uses, so you can't paraphrase that disclaimer on there. And then looking further at the form, then we got down to the two sections that are identified for having a disabled adult child who's incapable of self-care. So the first section on that form is that person incapable of self-care? So looking at that list there, standing, sitting, walking, going to a post office, using a telephone. We give this to the healthcare provider. So when that employee comes in to request this leave for care of an adult child, we're going to give this form along with the medical certification form, and we're going to ask for the healthcare provider to complete this form. So we're going to leave it up to the healthcare provider to decide this. Let them answer it. The top section, the magic number is 3. So we have to have a minimum of 3 activities or incidental activities of daily living in the game. Now our connector here, I love to say our Boolean expression in programming language, is an and. They're incapable of self-care in at least 3 areas, and they're disabled as identified by the American with Disabilities Act. So that's why that second part on that form at the very bottom is, okay, we're going to let the healthcare provider answer this for us. Is that adult child, are they disabled as defined by the American with Disabilities Act? So they'll fill that out, and then the healthcare provider will sign a date on the very bottom. So when you get the form back, you're going to analyze this along with the health certification form, And what's our magic number on the top? How many? Minimum of how many? 3. And what on the bottom? Remember, it's 2. We have 3 minimum on top and what on the bottom? Disabled is defined by what law?
ADA.
Disabled is defined by the American with Disabilities Act. So this takes all the guesswork off of your hands. It takes the guesswork of your employee that's asking for this leave. We're going to put that burden onto the healthcare provider. So as long as they got 3 and disabled is identified by the American with Disabilities Act, what are you going to do with that leave for care of an adult child? Approve it? Deny it. You're going to approve it. There you go. So that really takes this questions out and makes it very, very simple and straightforward. I've had members in classes since they were introduced to this form many, many years ago, and they always kind of tell me how helpful this form is just to handle those situations. It takes all the guesswork out and it puts the burden on the healthcare provider. So if that leave gets denied and the employee comes to you and they're very frustrated, no, I can't take time off to see my adult child, thanks a lot. Well, it really wasn't your determination, it was the healthcare person's determination. But then remember, if we ever deny, we always want to try to offer some other alternative for that person to be off. Paid vacation, sick pay, personal leave of absence. So see if there's some other way that we can try to accommodate and help that employee out. So any questions or comments about page 31 and care of an adult child under the ADA? All right.